welcome to VCode's 100 Days of Coding Challenge. Today is day 14 and let's see the question number 2. So the question is, write a Java program to find the sum of prime numbers in a given range using a do-while loop. So we need to use a do-while loop to find the sum of prime numbers in a given range. So the input format must be the two numbers which is start and end. They must be integers and which represents the range of start to end where both start and end are inclusive, within which prime numbers should be considered. And the output format must be the sum of these prime numbers in the given range. So let's find out what is the logic behind this, how to find it and how to write the code. So here we have to find the sum of prime numbers in a given range. For that, the question had told we need to use the do while loop. So what is the basic syntax of do while loop? First we have the do. So here we have to perform certain operation while some condition is true. Here we will be having the condition and semicolon. So this is the basic syntax of this do while loop. So now we have to use this to find the sum of prime numbers. So what is the condition here? What must be the condition in this while? So here the condition they had given us is the number must be between the start and end. So start and end both inclusive. So this is the range. We have to take each number and find if it is a prime or not. If it is prime, we have to add it to the sum and finally we will print the sum. How we will find if that particular number is prime or not? Now this is the challenge. So to find out if that number is prime or not, we will take another loop and we will iterate from the number 2 till that particular number. So let me take some variable j. So from these 2 till that number j or whatever number it is in this range, we have to find out if any number divides that number exactly. So what is a prime number actually? Prime number is any number which divides the which is divisible by 1 and that number itself, right? So if any other number divides that number, it is not a prime. So that is what we have to check. So for that we can use another for loop which I have told, and with we have to iterate from this number to this and we have to check if the remainder comes 0 or not. If it comes 0, then it is not a prime number. That means some number is dividing it. And if it doesn't come 0 and we have completed the iteration through whole of it and we haven't got 0 for any modulo, then that number is considered to be prime and we will add it to the print, we will add it to it the sum, and finally we will print that sum. So this is the basic idea of how to do the code. So now let's code in Java. So first of all I will create the Java file and let me name it sum of prime.java. And now, so here it must be capital P. And now I will write the main method. So to take the input of start and end, I need to create a scanner object. You have already know how to create the scanner object. So I will use the scanner class to create the object and the input stream. And now let me declare the variables int start. So I am taking int here because start and end should be integers, and int ob.nextInt to read the user's input, and int end ob.nextInt. So I have got the user input for both start and end. Now it's time to iterate through those using the do while loop. So I write the basic syntax of do while loop, do and while. So what is the condition here? We have to iterate through start and end. So we need here some variable to iterate. So let me take it as I. So while the start is less than or equal to I and this I is less than or equal to the end, and finally here semicolon. So I have to declare this I. So int I is equal to, what is the starting value of I? It is start. So as this is a range, the first value is start and the last value is end, and between those is the value of I, which keeps on changing through every iteration. And now what operation we have to perform? For every I we need to check if it is divisible by some number less than that. How do we do it? Here comes another iteration. So, for this we will use another for loop. So let me declare some variable j. So, it will start, so we can start from 0, 1, 2, anything. So, why don't we take it 0? Because we have to divide it and 0 cannot be in the denominator. So, we have to divide this I with that j values. So, 0 cannot be starting. So, let me take 1. So, 1 can divide any number, right? So, here 1 is also a problem. So, we have to take the number 2. So, you will understand in clarity sooner. So, j is equal to 2 and while j is equal to end. So, we will go till that number from j is equal to 2 till that number. We will divide all these numbers with that I value and we will find if for some j value we are getting the remainder as 0 and here j plus plus. So, what are we doing here? We will check if this I modulo j, for particular j we are getting the remainder 0. If it is 0, that number is not a prime, right? So, we have to not consider that number. So, I will break out from that loop. So, if I will use this break statement, for that iteration will not perform any operation and the j value will be increased. So, the I value will be increased, not the j value. So, I value will be increased and we will move on to the next number. Okay. For few numbers, if that number is prime, num is prime, then this until this end of this iteration, we won't get that modulo as 0. For that, we have to consider that number because that is a prime and we have to add it to the sum variable. So, which we need to print at last. So, if I is equal to j, so if I is equal to j, we need to add that number to the sum. So, here this does not know the j value because I have declared the j inside this for loop. So, this is a local variable, but let me declare it outside this for loop so that this would know. So, I will declare here itself. So, this both I and j are integer data type. So, now there is no problem. Okay. Now, here again I have to declare the sum variable also. Let me declare here itself. Sum I have initialized to 0 because we are adding it. And here after adding this, we have to move on to the further value. That is, we have to increase this I with 1. So, I plus plus. So, even if this statement is wrong, the condition here I equal to j is wrong, even then we have to increase this I value because we have to move forward. So, that is it. We are iterating through the start to end all the numbers and finding out if it is prime or not. If it is prime, then we are adding it to the sum. Okay. We have got the sum value at last, but we have not printed it. So, let me print it. So, what I have to write? Sum of prime numbers between what? Between start plus and I have to write here end. I will give here equals and plus. So, what is that? It is sum. So, here it should be plus. So, the code is completed and now let us check for some value. So, if I give start as 1 and end as 10, so what are all the prime numbers between 1 and 10? That is 2, 3, 5 and 7. So, what is the sum of all these? It is 17. So, let us check out if we are getting that same output. So, I will run the file using the terminal. So, let me clear it and now I have to compile the file first. So, what is the name of the file? Sum of prime.java, and now after compilation I have to run the file. Now, let us give the input for the start and end. I have given 1 and 10. So look at this, I have got the output of 17, which is exactly the sum of prime numbers between 1 and 10. So we have got the code successfully. So this is how you will find the prime numbers and the sum of them using this do while loop. That's it for this video. Do join the WhatsApp group of VCode's 100 Days of Coding Challenge for more updates. The link is in the description below. Thank you for watching.